Hello YouTube world, and welcome to another episode of the Travel with T-Bone show. And I'm going to talk about a video I just saw recently, which is this video right here. So the video is called, Why is it so hard for people to leave China, Ratty Flag, Vietnam, Prague? So this is done by Stephen A. Stephen A. is one of my favorite content creators when it comes to China because he is probably the most real. He speaks his mind, he's very honest, he's very open about what it's like to be in China and how you can earn a little bit of extra money as well while being here. So all in all, he's a pretty good channel, and if you like his stuff, follow it. He can be controversial, but you know, that comes with the territory of being open, outspoken, and that sort of thing. Anyway, so let's get into the video. So in this video, he talks about how he left China, he was in Vietnam and Prague, and while at Prague, he was really missing China, and he sparked up a conversation with another expat and how he was wanting to go back. Now, he listed some things I agree with and some things I disagree with, which is going to be the point of this video, and connect it to something greater, right? So you can apply it to your lives and hopefully make a good decision when you come to China, or if you want to go to another country, maybe this can help you make a better and more informed decision about it all. So let's start. So he talks about, in his heart of hearts, how he wanted to go back to China because there was things he was really, really missing about it. And so this I can agree with. I completely agree with it, actually. So whenever you go to a country, the longer you live there, the more likely you're going to find something you really like, and it'll grow on you, and you'll grow as a person. You'll become attached to it, and you'll want to go back sometimes. I can see it. When I was in Japan, I lived in Korea, I lived in China, and all of these had very, very great experiences. Like I was saying, when I was in Japan, I really liked how things were very clean and orderly, and there was a lot of fun hobbies and unique stuff you could see. I liked the food in Korea. I liked how there was PC cafes. In China, I liked the adventure and all of that. But then each place has bad things as well that you have to be aware of, and you kind of have to put an order in your life of, is this too much for me? Do I actually want to tolerate this, or is it not bothering me enough and my happiness is outweighing the negatives, right? And so that's something as an expat you're kind of constantly always dealing with because these countries are going to challenge you. Yeah, and that can be a reason why people leave. But when he ends the video, he's like, going back to China, everything's great. Everything's all roses and stuff like that. And you can make money, and you can have a cush job, and you'll work less hours than what you're going to make in the United States. Now, I'm going to agree with most of this. Yeah, this is true. You can get a cush job. You can work less hours than what you're going to be working in the United States. And you'll probably have more money to save because the amount of purchasing power you're going to have as an expat is going to be a lot more than some fresh college graduate coming out of the United States. But I also have to be realistic and tell you that this isn't going to last forever, right? All good things come to an end, and this is just what happened to the ESL instructors in the 80s in Japan. They were making $4,000, $5,000 a month when things were going really, really hot for the economy. Now, you might be saying, what are you talking about? Japan has a very hot economy. Let's take a look here, right? So we're going to look at this graph right here. So this is the Japanese economy. This is the Nikkei stock index. And you can see from the 70s, it starts out kind of slow. And then it really picks up in the 80s and gets really, really strong. And then it craps out. And then it goes down and down and down and down and down. And that's pretty much where Japan has been ever since. It's not the roaring economy it once was. So during this time as an ESL instructor, you could make a lot of money and a lot of bank. But eventually came to an end. And the only way, from my experience working in Japan, that you can have one of these cush jobs with a good salary and good hours is having more skills and having better qualifications. This could be a master's degree like my friend Harry, who's working on his PhD, who's now a lecturer in universities in Japan, and he's got this sort of cush lifestyle that Stephen describes. Now, what I'm getting at here is that this is a golden age of ESL teaching is what Steven said. And I completely agree. He said this in a different video. And I said, yes, I agree. There's a lot of money. The hours are low. And this is a very good chance. But it's also a golden age for second chances. And if you're an American college graduate, fresh graduate, this is your golden ticket if you feel you messed up, because this is your chance where you can save a lot of money, pay off a good chunk of your student debt, or if you want to go to graduate school and develop more skills, this is a good way to allow you to do that without going into a tremendous amount of debt, because your food is going to be covered, your housing is going to be covered, and you'll make enough money to pay for tuition most likely, if not go into debt by a very, very minimal amount compared to staying in the United States. Now, this is why I recommend it. The reason why I recommend it is because, like I said, not all good things last forever. So let's take a look. So here's Japan's crash for like its own bubble economy. It went up and it went down. Here's the internet bubble. Here's the Great Recession crash. And then here we are, China. China's growth is very, very high, and it's gone about 10 years or so, just like the Japanese economy. So how long is it going to last? That's the question on everybody's mind. But the thing I think is it's not going to last forever, and it might be 3 years, it might be 5 years, who knows? Nobody really can call it when it finally goes. But with everything going on in the news lately, I'm saying this December 20th, 2018, who knows how long things are going to last here. It might go kaput next year. It might go kaput in a few years. But if you take this opportunity now, this is a golden opportunity for ESL instruction, which means a golden opportunity for second chances, because you can use that to build yourself a brighter and better future. Because as you can see from the graphs, from the data, these things eventually come to an end where you can't get a high-paying job with low hours and very little qualifications all at once. This is a moment that you won't get every single day or every decade even. You have to really stop and take advantage of it, and you can rebuild your life if you want. And that's what I'm saying is the great opportunity for China. If you come here and you do it what I would consider right. I see so many people come to China and I think they're blowing it. And when I say blowing it, they're putting their money into things that just aren't going to last. They're not long-term investments. Now, if you want to travel, that's great. But if you're spending all of your money and putting yourself into debt by traveling, I think it's a grave mistake, especially if your only qualifications is a liberal arts degree. Trust me, I have a liberal arts degree from the United States, and it's an all right degree. I learned Japanese. I have English, right? But, I also need to invest myself for more schooling if I'm going to take that to the next level so I can have a steady career. And I know I'm not alone. And I think this is this is an opportunity that I'm definitely seizing. And if you're going to come to China, I think this is your chance. This is your chance to do that, where you can go to graduate school or you can develop skills as a programmer, because you'll have that time and you'll have the money to actually do it. And it's something that definitely shouldn't be wasted. And I think that's something that I want to add on to the video that we reflected on from the beginning, is that yes, a lot of things are what he's saying is true, but it's also should be taken with a grain of salt that this isn't going to last forever. And when it'll stop, it's a big question mark considering what's going on right now in the world economy. So if you come to China, have a game plan, have some sort of plan of what are you going to get out of it. Because I've seen, like I said, so many expats leave. They leave China really upset. And they're working at, Walmart or a coffee shop. And if that's you, that's fine. You do you. You can even come here and travel and spend your money. Like I said, you do you. You do whatever makes you happy. But these same people that spend all their money traveling end up going back to their home country working at Walmart or working at a coffee shop, and they just seem really bitter because they had this chance, they had this really good cush job, and they want it to last forever, but unfortunately the economy and how these situations work isn't going to make it last forever. However, if you take this to develop some skills, you can actually create something that's closer to it. You'll still have some hard work. Graduate school will be hard. Learning to program or whatever it is that you want to do to make sure you can have a better life will be hard, but it will provide a smoother future, not only for a few years, but for many years, whether it's 5 or 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30. And I say this from talking to a guy who started out when he was in Japan right here in the in the bubble economy. His name was Jeff Jones. I met him on an airplane. And then he took the money that he had, he invested it to get himself a master's degree, and then he rode that sort of lifestyle still. He ended up being a university instructor in Japan for 30 years before he had enough money where he retired back in the United States. Because eventually, this little ESL roller coaster comes to an end. It's a fun ride, don't get me wrong, but you need to have some sort of skills or something that you've gotten out of it that can help your career, help you in the long term, especially if you're my age. Anyway, that's all for this subject. I hope you liked the video. It's a pretty intense sort of topic, but I feel very passionately about this one. I figured I got to say something. Give it a like if you liked it. Give it a dislike if you didn't. If you like the transitions, giving a little bit of evidence here and there, put that in the comments too. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks. See ya. Bye.